ghostly mark. Cobwebs twine and shadows dance in this twilight somber trance. Candles flicker, weary wicks, ancient echoes, time's cruel tricks. Marble figures, frozen pose, amidst the silent sorrow grows. Whispering shadows, secrets keep in the depths where night meets sleep. Underneath the velvet gloom, guardians of the haunted room. Chandeliers and crystal tears reflect forgotten yesteryears, softly chanting distant cries. Through the arches sorrow sighs. Gargoyles watch with stony gaze, guardians of endless maze. Pipe organ's breath begins to rise, filling air with mournful ties. Whispering shadows, secrets keep in the depths where night meets sleep. Underneath the velvet gloom, guardians of the haunted room.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Shoal and my nonsense on Fridays, where everything is different this week and very much the same at the same time. Hello, chat. How are you? Also, I have a lictor here, and I haven't checked the settings whatsoever, so it's anybody's guess whether we'll be able to hear him. Say something, lictor. Cool. It's not working. Let's fix that. That'll be a 2-second job. Should be this one? No, it won't be that one. That's wrong. That's wrong. All right, where have we hidden it? Where have we hidden it?
Yay, everything's broken.
Yay, everything's broken. Okay, is that we're fixed now? Can we hear Lictor?
Go pet something.
Yay! OBS tells me that we can now hear Lictor, so hopefully chat can as well. And yes, the dogs have just returned from a walk where it sounds like they have driven their father up the wall. It is hecking windy where we are. It is stupid windy. We have gale force winds, so...
What is gale force winds?
Okay, well you need to go and chill, my love. And also pet some pups. Wolf says so.
Well, for Night Owl did so earlier.
Oh, and so did Night Owl, so that you must pet with both hands.
And so did Ed.
But continues to be a war crime.
Oh yes, Pip is in fact a war crime. Him make the stinks. Yes, we have stupid wind, which is not uncommon on our little island. Over the autumn and winter, we do get very high winds here. It is not uncommon for once a year areas of the island to just lose power for a short while because important poles have fallen over. And then they just put them back up and everything's fine again. So it's hecking windy today. It has wound the dogs up because they think this is the bestest thing. Meanwhile, all the humans are like, oh my god, I'm being blown at like 45 degrees just to walk forwards. But, you know, It's a fun
No, we
time.
had some. We had a fraction, a minuscule portion of it over here. It was windy. It was windy enough that my little boys had a hard time walking from point A to point B. It was windy enough. I mean, we had a weather. We had weather.
One whole weather.
Listen, okay? You can be smug about those places where water comes down out from the heavens, and your streets have the idea of gutters in them. Okay, I understand.
Digiman is like, this is why you put power cables underground. The problem with that, where we're at, is the effort to drill into basalt
Yes.
and possibly hitting the water table is just more hassle than stick it up on a pole, and when the pole falls down, we'll fix it in like 2 or 3 hours. It's fine.
Okay, I can see that. Having had to go through basalt a few times, yeah, no, shit's hard.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
need a
The
lot of
island
explosives
that
to handle
Aiden and
it.
I live on, as well as much of the local area, is all raised basalt cliffs because we are on the subduction zone where the oceanic plate dives under the North American continent, and so yeah, it's all basalt. It's all basalt, which is great
Uh,
to a point.
we have a super volcano,
Yeah.
uh, so we have to dig through basalt in a different condition.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
So,
like,
you deal with what you're given.
yeah, exactly. It's
How
fine.
is Lictor this week?
Lictor is fine. Lictor is medically approved to having taken good care of himself and has resumed swimming 1 whole kilometer per training session,
That
which
is
is enough.
wonderful. That is really good. I have also been doing the working out thing this year. Not massively because so Iden made some good points to me yesterday. About 5 going on 6 years ago, I was in the worst state mentally that I've ever been, and decided it was time to do something about it, and we did. And it took me a couple of years to get my brain from oh no to I am completely fine, and then I've had 3 years with this wonderful community to go from okay, I'm now okay to I'm the best I've ever been. And I'm kind of going to try and do the same with my physical health. So I went online. Paladin Rose, who is offered in chat, was like, I found this great website. It's open source and it's free. And it's like, look, what is your current fitness level? And here is a whole load of easy to follow things to help get you started. And I'm like, I am a weak noodle person. Please give me things I can start with. And I found a couple of things I can do. And it's like, okay, this is how you stop being a noodle. And once you've stopped being a noodle, this is how you will then progress to, actually being fit and healthy with good muscles. So that's what I've been working on this year. And my thighs are aware they exist once again. But we're working on
No,
it. Yeah.
you
It's
see,
been
you
a
see,
time.
you see. Just like humanity, understanding you exist is the worst part.
Yes.
Then you invent alcohol, and everything smooths out for a while.
Alcohol
And
and
then
caffeine.
Yes, you don't need to invent caffeine. Nature has done it for you.
Well,
It
that's
comes
true, but
naturally.
inventing the ability to put it into forms that are pleasant to consume is handy.
Yes, I have to say that consuming the coffee bean directly is not my favorite method.
No.
Though, during stressful times, it'll do in a pinch.
Ed, by all means, send me a DM, and after stream, I will link you to the thing. But yes, I'm doing a very nice routine that is allowing me to go from being a noodle person to an actual human, and we'll continue building from there. Yesterday, I
Wait.
remembered that lunges exist, and today I was doing side hops, and I'm like, oh god.
Wait, Ed,
Yes.
be hasty. The human condition is not so good that we should be envious and hasty in getting to it. Okay? Okay.
I mean, you have a point.
Let's not be hasty there.
The
We
worst
come-
part, though, is 6 months ago, Corbin decided he was going to get fit. And Corbin, who, quite a few of you here have at least seen Corbin in chat, but to say that this gentleman is somebody in my life who I have spent my entire life chasing his shadow because I have such a respect for him. 6 months ago, he was like, I'm gonna get fit. And now he's gone from noodle person to absolutely shredded war god. And it's intimidating. But on the other hand, goddamn, I'm not going to let him beat me. So
It can be done.
yes, spite is my motivating factor in everything I do in life. It is my key driving artistic fuel and just other parts of my life as well. So out of spite, I am going to get fit. I am going to go spite walking.
Look, it's simple. It's very simple. You're raising your attributes, and we all know that raising your attributes from 1 to 2 is the easiest in World of Darkness. We've all done it.
Yes.
We've bought the level 1 attribute because we knew that on the first bank of XP, you can get it. You're not. It's that simple. It's that simple. And then you go up to 2, and then go up to 3, and you realize, hey, that's nice. So yeah,
we
are
will do
upgrading our character sheets.
Wilf, no, thankfully he does not often yell boy. He is not dad of boy, god of war. Just more in lines of he owns multiple Saiyan muscle t-shirts at this point, and it's appropriate, and that's fine. Let's see what Screamo's saying. Ladies and gents, I have discarded my slowly disintegrating slippers in favour of comfy slippers that are not disintegrating. I mean, Grimos wins. Grimos is winning the how are we doing this week off. Good job, Grimos.
Oh, slippers. Tapachki.
Okay, so this week on Shoal, we said that we were going to look at the glossary this week. I'm planning on it just being a nice kind of chill one. I've been a little bit sick this week. We had Doctor Who with us last week, which was absolutely wonderful. I've got a couple of commissions on my plate, and doing some fun stuff for Exemplus, which you guys will get to see by the end of the upcoming month, if not sooner. So that's been keeping me a little bit busy. So I thought we'd just do glossary today, but we do have another change. The schedule on WBPL 76 has shifted a little bit. You'll notice the rotating banner on my screen has updated times, etc. We are no longer followed by Striker after a 3-hour slot. We are now followed by BB after a 2.5-hour slot. So I've got to remember to get out of here on time today, otherwise Quartermistress BB will have my head. But, she'll be here with some really fun stuff to start the weekend with you guys. So we're going to do that. I think before we get started on useful stuff, I'm going to hop up very briefly to use the restroom, because then we can just focus. So I'll leave you with Lictor for just a moment, and we'll get our brains into glossary mode, and we'll do some work.
You're staying with me.
Yeah, we'll do some work. I'll be right back.
What are you doing, chat? So today we're going to do something very simple. We're going to go over to glossary, and we're going to try and find out what's what and who's who and how to introduce new people, new folk, because a good glossary is kind of how you get into most world settings in an ease, because then you know what to look for and what's the lexicon, and secondly, you get the vibes of a setting a lot easier if you have a glossary to go through. It's a lot easier for a new guy to just look up the shit. It's like the tags in a Twitch channel. And so once we have our glossary up and ready, it'll be much easier. And also, it's excellent for reference for those of us who like literature, or those of us who would inevitably want to find out how exactly do we quantify the ablative abilities of an Abyss cast Mark CA10 or something like that. Aside from that, anybody BB can stream while being at med school. Listen, Ed, people in med school can sometimes do weird shit, like starting an a cappella YouTube video named Paracetamoxyfluoxybenzone and other such mad grad students that do weird shit. Ah, yes.
I
Oh,
have
BB is here.
returned.
Hello,
Yes,
BB.
BB is
We
here.
have BB.
Or
Hello.
BB is setting up OBS. Light some incense. I wish you luck. Also, maybe carry a big hammer. This should solve the any OBS issues you run into. Also, yelling at
Yes.
it.
Yes. Also, the god of all machines is praising with you. Hello, Beams.
Alrighty, let
Hammers are
me
good for OBS. Begin the
click
rise
over.
of streaming.
So, one of the things that I did as I was transferring the information that was currently over in the compendium into it was, as I was running things through spell checks and a little bit of grammar editing. This is not to say that I'm done on all of that with what's in the compendium. I'm not, but I at least did some. I was like, okay, can you also pull out for me every single unique term that you see and stick it in a dump file? Because I knew one day we would want a glossary. So I would like you to brace yourselves, chat, because I am going to show you the current state of the glossary. Are you ready?
I am in preparedness.
This is what the glossary currently looks like. This is not helpful. Not helpful in the least.
I don't know about that. I mean, help is nice.
Words, yes, many words. Also, hi Corbin, we were talking about you a minute ago.
Yes,
To the surprise of
we did.
everybody, it was all good stuff. Check outside, it's probably a blue moon.
That's a list of tags.
Why?
However,
Because we were talking about how we're doing this week, and Lictor's doing very well and has been doing exercise things, and I've been doing exercise things, and you have done all of the exercise things, and I was being proud of you. Yes, glorious TXT file. Yes. So we have a complete mess here. It is not in any degree organized, but we're going to try and work through this a little bit today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that mess over on the right side. And then on the left side, we're going to have a much more sensible glossary. And you guys are going to help me fill it out. That's
Yes.
going to be this week's work.
Van Allen belts.
Yes, so I think we're going to have sections that we'll want to put things into, and I think once we've put things into sections, what we're probably going to want is to have those sections alphabetical, and then what's in the sections alphabetical. And what do I mean by sections? I mean things like... so one of them is going to be cities and places. A glossary of the different cities and places. And of course, once everything goes into the compendium, I'll be able to put page numbers next to each of these so that you can go, okay, I want to know about this place. What pages does it turn up on? But for now, we just need to get them sorted out.
Yeah, okay, we'll get to building an index later. First off, we need terminology. In the glossary, we need terminology. It's like the terminology of things, the nomenclature. No.
Well, we can add our sections as we go through as well. That will also work.
Of course. Cities, places, stellar objects are part of places, I guess.
Stellar objects. That's what I was trying to put my brain to. Thank you.
That's okay. This
Stellar
is why we have
objects.
two.
Yes, and why we have multiple brains to put the thing together. Stellar objects. Okay. In-universe terminology. And then I'm going to also want us to have external terminology.
Many brains.
And the reason for that is because of things like, what is the Black Pants Legion? What is the auxiliary? Etc. That's external to the in-universe. So we'll have an external terminology, I think.
Is that diegetic and the other one?
What is chat saying? Eric's making terrible belt jokes. Van Allen belt is specifically in our thing. Yeah. Let's see. electrosponges must rub together to generate brain cells. Yes. And then I come along and steal them off of you guys. My brain doesn't work today. I will have external brain. Chat, solve it for
Yes.
me. All right, so let's start working on this. So I just want to talk about sort of books in general and things I like to see in books and why we need a glossary. So if you're writing a contemporary young adult romance fiction novel, it doesn't even have to be romance, just, a contemporary novel that's sort of based in real world, you're probably not going to need a map. You're not going to need a glossary. You're not going to need an index. This is just not going to be a thing because the audience that you're talking to will already understand the majority of what's going on. They are there purely for the narrative. When you move into deep sci-fi and fantasy, however, things can start to get complicated. And it can be nice to sort of have a shorthand or a visual or something that allows your audience to sort of slide themselves into the world that you want them to come and enjoy without feeling completely adrift and without assistance. And of course, this is something we see in other creative mediums, particularly video games. And so, you sort of have to weigh up what is the audience, what is the purpose, what should be here, what shouldn't, what's a distraction, what should be included because it's helpful. We're writing a compendium for an entire setting, as well as our first book in that setting. So having a glossary where people who've never come across this shit before can look something up and be like, I don't understand this word. What does it mean? Or I read this word 2 chapters ago and I put the book down for a month and I've forgotten. Being able to sort of go to the back of the book or to the back of the compendium and go, remind me, what is this thing? And there's a short little sentence can be really, really helpful. This is why glossaries, though, are at the back of the book, because if you front load with the glossary, nobody's ever going to get to your narrative or to the important things that you want to reveal to them. Things I like seeing in the front of a book are maps, if a map is appropriate. I am an absolute sucker for a map at the beginning of a book. And of course, there are very many examples of books that have used these things to great effect, and books that have used them to lesser effect. Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit have maps in the front, typically, and the Battletech romance had a glossary in the back that it used far less competently than the good examples in life.
The good example of using a glossary in a non-literary manner is setting books. And White Wolf is one of the good examples of this is how you do glossary correctly. You put it in the front because you need people to read the vibes of a setting in order to get into it. When you're writing our compendium is not the book. We're not going to include the glossary in the book unless it's in the back, and even that it'll be a tourniqueted version thereof. It won't be the complete glossary. The compendium, however, is going to have a large glossary with gravitas to it, because we have a lot of stuff that people can play with and create on their own.
Yes. Yeah, Erica's making a very good point. It's important to only put things you actually use in the novel's glossary. If you don't use it, don't add it. So so our compendium will have the comprehensive glossary. Our book will only have a glossary that's relative to what's in the novel. Because as Eric says, if you put an unimportant bump in there, you're just going to turn the reader off. It stops meaning anything at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Samurai had a good quote. What is the Black Pants Legion? Please consult War Crimes for Dummies. Relevant chapter. Will a compendium need a glossary, given it is essentially a giant glossary? Yes, because with the size that the compendium is going to be and how much is in there, being able to flick to the back when, let's say, for example, you're reading a section on podlands, and the word concordance turns up, and you don't want to have to flick through and read the entire concordance section. You're busy with podlands. You're just like, what does this one word mean in a short sentence? You can flick to the back and go, okay, yeah, that was what concordance was, and you continue on with what you're doing. You don't have to go scrolling backwards and forwards through it. Some people will, and that's completely fine, but just, having a glossary that's available, and of course that then gives us the master glossary to draw from to put into our novels. So if I write a novel and Lictor writes a novel and Samurai writes a novel and all of us have used the term psionics and we want the reader to know what that means, all of us can draw from the master glossary, so it's the same in all three of those novels, even though they have different authors.
It is the vibe
Yes.
collection.
Yes.
It is the if you can't get the vibes of a stuff from a glossary, the glossary ain't good enough. Simple as.
So
You-
yes,
you
we
need
are
to-
going to detail our setting in nice short sentences instead of our lovely elongated 80,000 word plus. that
Oh,
we're
it's
at.
going to be double than that. Trust me. When I'm done
Oh,
with
yeah.
it, I know where you're at. When I'm done with it, by Jove, it's going to be fatter than Graven Choir.
That's pretty fat. I'm very much looking forward to sort of, mid-year, because looking at sort of the pace of things I've got going on, because although I'm not really taking personal commissions this year, I do still have projects that need to be worked on outside of Shoal, but
Said the
March,
person who did
I'm...
a personal compendium, a personal project this month. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine.
We
March,
get- we
I
get-
think I'm probably going to be rewriting Hungry Like the Wolf so we can read it in April, because that will just be funny. And then it's probably going to be sort of April, May that I get to really polish up the compendium with all the things we're adding in. That's not to say that new stuff won't go in between now and then, but that's when I feel like the most work is going to get done and be the most obvious. All right, so let us
Okay.
work on our master list and start putting things together. Now we've witted about the place for certain things in books. So I've got our list. We're going to go through it and we're going to do some...
We're going to
annotations.
pigeonhole things.
Yeah, let me turn this into what is going to be our nice, neat... And then all of these are going to be title 2, because we like things to look pretty.
I adore you. Thank you. As a web designer, using correct headings is the hallmark of sane people.
Okay, this is working. Okay, so cities and places. Then we're going to want stellar objects, which we'll also be writing in verse. I should say that, for all I'm using these things on here, I have set each of these up to be what I want them to be on Scrivener, because Scrivener lets me do that. And I could add in new ones if I want. I've just edited what was already here. So, verse should really probably just say prose, but whatever. Okay, so our first things that we've got is we've got Mern. I told you to put this in. No, you're doing the wrong thing. You're making a liar out of me. Don't do that. Okay. No, you... Okay, fine. I'll fix it in a minute. Okay, so Mern is a stellar object. Luastra is also a stellar object and comes before Mern. Shoal will also be here. Right, now why won't these match? What is going on here? Why are we being so difficult? Thank you. There we go. Alright, so this is going to let us lift these two off of this side. Anything else we've got that is in the sky? Not in this first section, so we'll come back to it. Okay, so for a glossary, when you're writing down, hey, what does this weird word I've never seen before in the English language mean? It needs to be something really short and understandable. This isn't, for long exposition. So, for example, Luastra, I think it was, the first
Luastra
major
is-
gas giant in the Mern system. Host to the myriad moons that include the ocean world of Shoal. Similarly for Mern, our write-up is going to be along the lines of the singular star body in the in the center of the Mern system, around which all the word is escaping me.
Orbit, all planetoids.
Which all planetoids orbit. That will do. It wasn't quite what I was looking for, but it does the same job. Okay, the single star body in the center of the Mern system on which all planetoids
planets, rocky objects. I mean, it is the main star of the system.
Yep.
It's just the main star of the system.
And then for
It is what it
Shoal, we will have...
Is it a yellow star, by the way?
Yes. There we go, we can add that in. Shoal, the ocean moon world that orbits Luastra within the Mern system. The only body in the system which hosts sentient life. There we go. And
Thank you, Kai. Thank you. Of
What
course,
exactly?
it's not the star of the show. Of course.
Okay, let's move on to our next bit. So we've got the Shoaly that we will want to... It's an in-universe term. Myriad Seas is not actually a place in and of itself. It doesn't belong in this list. That was a miscopy. Okay, cities and places. The Grand Corals we should have in cities and places. Okay, we are also going to want species terms, aren't we? As a bracket. Cephalinids. Ceratinoids. Laticals. Podlands. Silesians. That's going to go there. Other in universe. Okay, let's get this correct. There we go. Let's get this correct. There we go. Alright, that gives us this. So then in universe terms we're going to want to define will be coral. Psionics. I don't think we need to do forging because what the word forging means is very common parlance. It doesn't need to be in here.
Yep.
Titans.
Titans are a core idea. Yes.
Okay.
I think the Titans can,
Leviathans.
I think that the Titans can. I think that the Titans can have their own piece of the glossary, given how central they are to our entire story.
Okay, we'll give them their own thing as well. That makes sense. Let's put this in here. Titans. Titan terminology. We'll still keep Titans here to sort of give a general, hey, this is what they are. Please see Titan terminology for more detailed terms. So we can do that. Will we want a section where we very briefly list all of the conflicts? I don't think we're going to want that. I think that's something that you just need to go and read the details, isn't it?
There's going to be something named the timeline, which is not part of the glossary.
Okay, so yeah, so for now we can...
The glossary is not a timeline. You can say the Forge Wars if you want, because it's so definitive.
I think that will go in Titan terminology because that's where Titans came from.
Exactly.
So
No, there's the
forge
timeline
was-
and there's the glossary. It's
Yeah.
not the same thing. Don't delete these things, just, don't put them in the glossary. If you have Thank you, Load. Thank you. This is incredibly correct.
Let's see what chat's saying. I haven't glanced over for a minute. Against the recommendations of The Hague, you're watching WBPL 76. Amazing. You know what would be funny? Add a listing for Zorg. We should absolutely add a listing for Zorg in the external terminology.
I mean, presumably, yes.
Yeah, we can get
But
away
it's
with
fun.
being a little bit ridiculous here.
We can get. Have you listened to us? You know what we need? You know what we need? We don't need a glossary, but we do need the common parlance, and then we will have an entire list of get barnacled, bitch.
That's definitely going to go in one of the sections. That's going to be like a little inset that's going to be like, common common slang on Shoal.
Every city should have common slang. Every species should have common slang.
That is going to be something we'll do this summer. That will be a homework thing. Is okay, chat. We need slang terms for Shoal. It is up to you guys to invent Shoal slang and a little note next to it of what each word means. That'll be really fun. That will be really fun. Right, and we'll also want the auxiliary here. Okay. All right, let's start actually defining what some of these things mean. So in cities and places, ground corals, a series.
Do we want to first list them out, or do we want to, or is it going to be too boring, and we will complete the listing out next time in the downtime?
I'm probably just going to jump between the two at the minute as the mood takes me, because just listing everything out I think is going to send me off the deep end, and God knows where we'll end up there. So we'll just sort of jump backwards and forwards, and of course any time we come up with a word in our future streams and someone's like, well, what does that mean? We can hop over to the glossary and go, do we have a thing for that? Yes, we do. This is what it means. No, we don't. It needs to be entered.
Exactly. We are essentially doing the Wikipedia. Okay, let's go. Let's do the thing.
In
A
life
series of particularly large coral reefs.
psionically active.
Ooh, do you want me to start typing shit out on my computer and I can copy paste and bother you in the meantime? So we can do parallel bullshit. We can even have chat write down stuff.
If we want to, sure. I'm also just quite happy to witter away as we work. Okay, so species. We've got a very short snippet for cephalids. A squid-like race of sapients. What we'll need for this is, let me bring up the map. That's the wrong map. I want this one. This map, where we get to remember where our different species started from. So for our cephalids, they evolved in the northeast of our world, around the Starburst Shoals. So a squid-like race of sapients that evolved in the northern reaches of Shoal around the Starburst Shoals, now prevalent across the entire world. And then it's going to be very similar for each of our other races. It's just, it will be... So for ceratinoids, it will be a crab-like race of sapients that evolved in the northern reaches of Shoal around the Mistvale Sea. For the laticles, it will be a Naga-like race of sapients that evolved in the temperate Serpent's Strait near the equator. Remarkable for their adaptations to land as well as sea. Podlands, a snail-like race of sapients that evolved. Where did we have? Oh no, the Podlands were in the Serpent Strait. Where were the Laticals? Were on the southern continent. I got that wrong. That evolved around the tide swell, southern continent near the equator. There we go. Podlands that evolved in the equatorial Serpent Strait. And then for our Silesians, a whale and shark-like race of sapients that evolved in the southern seas. Remarkable for both their adaptation to the entire world and their use of Susella. See below. And then we will also need to have a section for what the hell is a Susella?
Yes.
And we'll put that in. All right, how's chat doing?
Chat is doing fine. Crab is slang for clanners.
Crabs talk like clanners. I feel
Nuts.
like crabs are going to be one of two things. They're either going to use no contractions and be extremely forceful and formal and only speak, you know, either proper English or, you know, whatever. They're incredibly formal and, you know, you must ein, zwei, ein, zwei, ein, zwei. Or they are going to have just the most broad slang that nobody else can understand whatsoever and use it all the time in the same way like Cockney rhyming slang. And there's no in between. You get one or the other. Silicon Soul says Zorg. Noun. Verb. Praise Zorg. No more questions.
Hey, Zorg. 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 Yes. No. Hello. Welcome. It is now time for noon. Yes. And thus the Forge Wars began.
So I can see some comments in here of should we put things in size order. In a glossary, generally you want things alphabetical. People don't go to the glossary to just sort of read it like prose or like an informative piece. You go to the glossary because you're looking for something specific. And the easiest way to find something specific is I'm looking for this thing, this is the section it should be, and now I go down it alphabetically. So L comes before M, hence the order of events. Now, if you're reading through the compendium itself, and you're ingesting the information the way that that's, laid out, we absolutely have Mern before Luastra because we're descending in the size of stellar objects because that's how we're describing the entire setup. So the main compendium, it's in the correct way. In the glossary, it needs to be alphabetical for easy looking up. Crab
What about
slang.
Zorg?
Tibble. Number of young which have died in a clutch. Oh no!
Dear.
Yeah, so for all the slang stuff, what would be really helpful is if you want to be working on slang today, stick it over in the channel in the Discord so that I can find it. And it would also be really helpful if you put the word slang at the beginning of your post, because then I can search the thread and just find anything you guys have mentioned instead of having to crawl it from top to bottom.
Hashtag slang for slang.
Yeah.
Slang.
Or just at least
What
put
is
the word
slang?
in there somewhere
What-
so I can find it.
What is coral for slang? Froth. Foam.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking about words that would mean slang. And what would be slang? Huh. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm pondering. I'm withering around. Read your
It's
effect.
almost like that's what we do here. This is fine.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
fine.
Susella. Yes. Susella.
Yeah,
Susella.
okay.
Susella.
Let's do a bit more work then. Susella.
Yes. Susella.
A series of
Biologic.
small lamprey-like entities that form symbiotic bonds with Salacians, capable of acting as remote hands for psionically bonded individuals. And don't think I haven't noticed, Scrivener, that this is not in the correct style. There we go. Alright, we don't need our map back up. Let's have our glossary mess back so we can see where we've got to. And then I think what we're going to want to do is, for each of these, to make for easier reading, we're going to bold it. And when I put these into the compendium, I will be able to do that as well. Make it really clear, you know, what's an entry and what's a description of an entry. There we go. Yeah, we make it look pretty.
We make it look the prettiest. Yes, prettiest. Ooh, Corbin. A fusion. Corbin. Corbin. My friend.
Leviathans, a series of gigantic class life forms that naturally live on shoal and prowl its waters, oftentimes a threat, regardless of their diets.
Diets and habitat. Doctor Who, just to be to answer a question, our psionics do not allow for the replacement of language. It is, however, deeply ingrained within social interaction. This is Trout's touching. This is the entire concept. You can't.
Psionics are more like body language than they are a complex spoken language. So they're very important to communication, but they can't handle all communication purely by themselves.
Yeah, you can't develop computer systems with charades.
I mean, we can try, but yeah, we're gonna have a bad time.
Look, I have seen the guys trying to program with Ukukuk. Do you know Ukukuk?
I'm familiar with ukukuk, yes, and how important it is
So-
to use the word orangutan instead of monkey in certain social situations.
Exactly. So, yeah, I've seen people trying to program complicated things. You can build a computer using redstone and timers in Minecraft. It doesn't make it an efficient manner of programming, okay? Please. I understand you can run Doom on everything, but the leaps and bounds we did was not because we showed everyone that we could, but because we figured out how to make very, very flat surfaces. Okay, we needed things flatter than the general idea of what a politician is.
Oh boy!
Moving on. Look, currently, if you take the mills used to create computers, you take a mill, you increase its size to the size of Germany, you will have no more deviation than the size of a graphite atom. They are very flat.
My god.
Yes, they are very flat.
Guy on Broadway has suggested crab chal, which at this point we're at second generation rhyming slang, because to understand what crab chal means, you need to understand what bachal means, and to understand what bachal means, you have to understand that clanners are hypocrites. So we're quite down the rabbit hole at that point.
Look, crab chal is a famous cuisine in certain locations. Okay.
Okay, we're at fourth generation nonsense now.
Crab chal is famous cuisine on the underwater city of Phuket, used to celebrate the 20th of May.
you think people enjoy crab rangoon as much on Shoal as they do on Earth?
Probably.
Hello, Treese. Welcome in. You walked into some absolute nonsense. I'm sorry. Everybody say hi to Treese. Treese is amazing and makes incredible things, and I am in awe of their work.
Oh, Trace.
Please compliment Treese. Treese is amazing.
Trace, you're amazing. You're incredible. We want to see more of your stuff. Please share.
Yeah, I'm sure you're aware, but the Black Knight video, that wonderful section with the moving Black Knight figure on the table with the schematics, that was all Treese, and just I
Yes.
was dying watching that come together. I'm like, oh my god, I wish I could do even like 1% of that. That's so cool.
Yes. I want to see more. Please share. Give. Make people know. Spread in the waters of Shoal and become one with the song.
Bully Snake says, on Shoal, everything tastes like crab instead of chicken. Yes, it does. Everything tastes like crab.
Okay, to the idiom book. It tastes like crab. Literally everything and everyone.
Alrighty, let's carry on getting some work done on this this thing. Okay, so I'm going to leave Titan terminology alone for a minute. Alright, how do we want to describe what coral means? Now, at the very basics, it's going to be a psionically active form of coral. But I feel like we need a little bit more than that.
That creates the ever-present psionic song
Okay.
that
corals
defines
create
life on.
Psionic song. Song needs to have a capital S. That dictates
song.
the meter
Things-
of life on Shoal.
the meter and heartbeat.
Forms Shoal's heartbeat and soul as a united world.
Phenomena. As a united, it's a phenomena. The song is the phenomena prompted by the coral.
Okay.
It's a united phenomena. Why do I say it's a phenomena? Because we're going to later deal with the song, and the song is not one thing. The song
That's
is
true.
a whole bunch of things.
That's fair. Phenomenon. Do, 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 do. Phenomenon.
Phenomena. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, Wanaromancy, the singular religious structure on Shoal that accounts for its web of interconnected deities
Aspects.
and concepts.
Yes. Deities and concepts prompted by who runs the neuromancy? Did we ever sit down and talk about it?
We're gonna get some like full details on that later this year from Eric, who will be working on our sort of sister splat book to do with all of the religion, and that's something I would very much like Eric to answer rather than me, is basically what I'm getting at.
The double brackets requires this requires an entire list of stuff to go after that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For now, we'll just leave this as what it is. That's a very basic description of what does this word mean. It's the religious structure. It's that. That's all somebody who's looking it up will need to know. Psionics, okay. How are we going to describe psionics without using the word psionic?
The method, the metaphysical, the metaphysical method by which sapient creatures, sapient and semi-sapient creatures interact across distances.
Okay, the metaphysical abilities of sentient and sapient creatures on Shoal to interact on a mental level, including at distance. The core power, in inverted commas, that allows shoals, communities, and titans to function. There we go. We'll go with that. And we can always adjust these later if people have better ideas. Let's see what chat is saying. Scroll up slightly. Everything tastes like crab.
Spaghetti fingers, tactile thought.
Everything tastes like crab except the crabs. The crabs taste like chicken. Guy on Broadway is saying that the Black Knight animation activated a trauma response. How bad they are at Space Harrier. Bless you, Guy on Broadway. It was a really cool remix of that song, though. And oh my god, that animation was incredible.
Yes, it does. Cyclic Italian gesturing. A Shigeru Neko.
We also need to explain the various forms of coral. Yeah, and of course the compendium has a breakdown of what each kind is. But yeah, we will add in those as well. Absolutely. Space Harrier was brutal. It was better than the ever-persisting taste of prawn/shrimps. Invisible spaghetti fingers of tactile thought. Yeah, psychic Italian gesturing. Now all I can think of is last week we were looking at chapter 3 where we had the Podland chef that's accompanying the expedition making barnacle soups for everybody. And I've just now got, at some point we're going to have to put in like the psionic equivalent of a chef's kiss.
Yes. Good point.
Alrighty, back to work. Where were we? Oh, hang on, was that a highlighted message? Yes. Crab slang. Tibble. Shortened tidal burial balance. Number of fatalities in a clutch. Origin. Northern tribes originating from the high fatalities brought about by life in the northern wastes. Ceratinoids had even child deaths recorded to mark how much space would be used for funeral rites. Yeah, I mean, if they're dying before first molt, that's not really a huge problem, because I imagine that's just, yeah, okay, they're gonna, the decay floats on the currents. They're very tiny at that age. But yeah, that would definitely be something to look into when we do a little bit more fleshing out of the Ceratinoid Society. When you have crab claws, you can only gesture in Italian. Well, thankfully, our Ceratinoids have 4 arms. 2 of them are crab claws. The other ones are less so. Night Owl, might I suggest Code Vein 2? It just came out. I will be playing that after stream for the rest of today. I cannot be stopped. I enjoyed the first Code Vein very much. 2 feels very different, and I think I figured out how to sum up how I feel about 2 so far. And bearing in mind I've only played like the first hour, if that. Code Vein 2 feels like Elden Ring did to like original Dark Souls. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes.
Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing?
It's neither, because I like Dark Souls. I like the Dark Souls games. It took me a long time to get into them, but, once I did, I like Dark Souls. I also like Elden Ring, and although they have their similarities in the way that they've been built and the sort of world aesthetics and certain things you can expect, they're very different as well, and I wouldn't say for me either one is better than the other. It's like these 2 things have come from the same parent, and I like them both equally. I don't have a favourite child.
I see.
And I'm kind of feeling that way with Code Vein at the minute. I really enjoyed 1 and co-oping through that with my wonderful sister-in-law, and we've been reprising it over the Christmas holidays in anticipation of 2. 2 feels like a very different beast, but at the moment I don't dislike it, but I need to spend more time with it before I have a complete picture. So yeah, that's going to be my afternoon after we're done here. I hear a cat being yelled at. I mean, isn't that just a cat in a position of function, Samurai? Both are just character creator sims, tell me I'm wrong. I mean, that's all you've used them for, though it does amuse me that you can just make ridiculous, over-the-top, post-double apocalypse anime vampires with gas masks, and it's a very unique feel. And yeah, the character creator, if you're interested in ridiculous anime vampires, and you just want to, like, make characters, the character creator for Code Vein 2 is completely free, and you can just mess about in that. Why not?
That sounds just like the squirrels outside. The government doesn't want you to know that the squirrels outside are completely free, and you can take them home if you want.
Verithaxi says, Code Vein 2 question, can you equip hats everywhere? Yes, and you can equip them to more everywhere than in one. I believe it's possible to equip a hat to your eyeball.
What? Question mark?
The character creation system in Code Vein and now in Code Vein 2 is interesting. I've never played with a character creator that's quite like it. In some ways, it's very versatile. In others, less so. But the snap 2 points that you get for placing accessories are interesting, and I think you can actually snap hats to eyeballs. I could be wrong, but yes, you have more snapping points than you did in 1. Can you hatch your hat? Yes, you can. You can put a hat on your hat if you so wish.
So you can create a lictor model.
Yes. If you are willing to put the accessory points into having 2 hats, willing to go into the editor and scale things up and down and move them around a bit, you can in fact put a hat on a hat.
Hat on a hat, says the cat. Hello.
Yes, for anybody else who played Code Vein 1, Code Vein 1 is set in a double apocalypse. Horrible yokai monsters turned up and started ravaging the world, but at the same time humanity discovered the boar parasite, which let them bring back corpses as effectively vampires. That was the first apocalypse, and then when they were like, okay, so we've got all these vampires to help us deal with this problem, but, you know, vampires are kind of bloodthirsty, and it'd be nice if we could do something about that. They started Project Queen to invent a blood code that all revenants could then inherit, where you didn't have the bloodthirst. And that kind of went wrong, and the Queen went a little bit crazy, and that was the second apocalypse. So it is a double apocalypse in the original Code Vein that you're trying to fix. If you get the good ending, you basically become anime vampire Jesus. It's a good time. Anyway, we're supposed to be...
Can we make blood into wine?
I mean, that's kind of the thing. You get ridiculous gas masks to, you know, enjoy blood without all of the horrible diseases that's attached to it. So that's kind of going on.
I see. I have questions, but we also have work to do.
We do have work to do, and we need to do the work. Okay, surely the term for the collective sapient species on Shoal. Any sapient being will be known as one of the Shoali, whether they are podlan, latical, ceratinoid, cephalonid, or Salatian. There we go. Titans. The unique biomechanical sapience of Shoal, grown from and given intelligence by coral integration. Titans are large sapient, because they're not just sentient, they're sapient, large sapient machines that operate with and for the Shoali. There we go.
Yes. And require pilots for extended operation.
Yeah. Titans require pilots to properly engage with the world around them. There we go. And that means one of our Titan terms, of course, that we will need is pilot. All right. External terminology. Auxiliary. All right, chat. How do you want to describe yourselves? seeing as the majority of our wonderful chat are orc souls. Thank you, Night Owl. Yes, you do in fact become Anime Vampire Jesus. For the longest time, Paladin Rose, her Steam name was Anime Vampire Jesus because of this game, and mine was Anime Vampire Judas because whenever you engaged cooperative mode, as your co-op partner was loading in, it completely disabled your ability to interact with the world until they fully loaded in. So you want to climb a ladder? Nope, you can't. You want to open a chest and get your silver out of it? You can't. So that was our Steam names for quite some time. Water break. I will have a water break. Thank you, Orc Slayers. And I will check my posture.
Yes.
It is better than it has been because I've been doing like healthy things this year. And yeah.
Yes. I will not
Corbin,
ask
it's
you how you
absolutely a
did.
feature you'd abuse.
Yes. I mean, Corbin will hang teeth on the hat, hanging on the eyeball.
A bunch of raving lunatics who will be the first against the wall when the revolution comes. I mean...
Thank you, deep thought. Thank you. We appreciate your prognostication. Please have a piece of biscuit and step into that machine, which will show you the sum total of everything and all at once.
Night Owl says, a construct originally intended to contain a small group of particularly persistent viewers that expanded into a massive interconnected loony bin. That is a pretty good description.
I like Night Owl's idea.
How is
I
the
like
book
Night
writing
Owl's
going? It's going fine. We're into chapter 3, but we're taking it slow and steady this year. I was chronically overworked and stressed last year, and I don't want to repeat that this year. So we're doing things at a nice pace that just seems to make sense for us. So it's going well, but it's not going, at the world's fastest pace because it doesn't need to. Alrighty, let me grab what Night Owl had to say, and we might tweak it just a little bit. Alright.
Just a little bit. That's a treat.
Let's move this up so you guys can see what I'm doing. We're going to paste and match style. The auxiliary. An online community construct originally intended to contain a small group of particularly persistent Twitch viewers
Lunatics.
that expanded into a massive interconnected loony bin. You can find
Correct.
us online at Discord, and I want to get the actual auxiliary link, so let me go and do that. It would help if I went to my correct Discord for this job and not the incorrect Discord, because yes, I have too. Open at all times. I have issues. Don't mind me.
Permanently online is a condition we suffer from.
Paste and match style. There we go. I think we can take out the HTTPS at discord.gg bplorcs. Cool, there we go. Alright, now we have to define what the BPL is.
What happens when a bunch of geeks find their tribe and decide to be fine with one another?
An online
for
community
staff.
of fools that found Tex and his works and decided to add their chaos to his own. You can find our projects at the Black Pants Legion.com. Who runs that website, Lictor?
I don't know.
Some guy.
Idiot. Some idiot. A buffoon.
WBPL 76. The Twitch. I can spell, I swear. Twitch streaming channel of the Black Pants Legion. From
Please,
whence...
if you want a hint, we can talk. The secret pizza page exists.
It does. It does. And there'll be a show page one day. One day!
It'll be roughly 24 hours from the moment you tell me you want one.
Yes, but we're not ready yet. That's not your fault. That's my fault.
He's correct. Dr. Who is correct. Lowercase c with Zorg.
Yes, I did put it in as a lowercase c, and that is not what I'm asking you to do. Why are you copying that? It's Scrivener's trying to be helpful when it shouldn't be helpful.
Yes.
See what I mean? It's just automatically like, no, this is the beginning of a line. It must be a capital. We'll
You
keep
can
fighting
put a
it until
dash
it
before
behaves. It'll be fine.
Yes.
Okay, that's not what I want you to do. All right, what I want you to do is to give me this in a new tab. And then I want you to go that. And then I want to go here. And then I want to go here. Why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep doing this? This is not what I'm asking you to do. Fine.
See, this is why,
type it in myself.
This is why computers are the enemy.
They are.
They obey orders instead of doing what you want.
I was giving it a very clear order and it was refusing, and I'm very annoyed at it. It was copying the wrong thing. Where are we? We are at, WBPL 76. There we go. Right, now, remove link. There. Thank you. Okay, what do you want me to put in for Zorg, chat? That's going to be on you. What are we putting in for Zorg?
Yes.
I've been fighting LibreOffice about starting paragraphs with a tab this evening. Again, one of the reasons I love Scrivener, I can set up what paragraphs should look like. Do I want tabs? How big do I want the tabs to be? Do I want no tab at all? What do I want the spacing between lines to be? And can I assign that to different text types and just apply it to the whole document? It's amazing.
Well, Wilf has it correct, god of being on fire. Zorg manifested in Superflorence to burn the god of middle management. On the request of his paladin, also known as Paladin of the Ox.
Okay, so Zorg, the god of being on fire. Worshipped by, let's see. Worshipped by burning things and said to be of debatable morality. Let's see what else you guys are saying. We've got some good ones here. God of being on fire, worshipped by burning things said to be the debatable morality. Predates known records. Save those. Let's see. No, I want this. Save those. Inscribed with char. Inscribed by char. To be praised at all given times, if at all possible. There we go. That will do us for now. Alright, so that is most of our terminology we've currently lifted from my ridiculous list. Let us continue lifting things. Do we want to put 007 in?
Shenanigans. This goes not to in-universe terminology or out-of-universe. This goes simply to shenanigans. You can call it shenanigans, you can call it cultural references, if you want to make a complete lunacy out of it.
Shenanigans. Ask no questions. This is now a section. Okay, chat. Describe 007. What's going into the glossary for 007? We need more 007. I mean, always. Do we just want to stick it in culture? I mean, we could be sensible because, 007 is... 007 is canonical to the setting itself, so we could literally just make this, cultural terms.
But we're the BPL and we whole ass our stupidness, so
That's
we
true.
are
We'll
going
stick
to
it in
have
just
to share.
shenanigans for now. Okay.
Because shenanigans is shenanigans and shenanigans. Culture. Crab culture. Crab mentality. But with a K.
I'm seeing what you're popping in chat, introspective. These all sound great. Make sure you're popping it over into the Discord, because this will be grabbed for the slang section in the compendium. And
Precisely.
being able to search it and find it over there, excellent, you have. Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, 007. A cultural icon of Shoaly storytelling. 007 is a recurring... It's a recurring character in typically spy thriller stories, and has had many different actors play the role over the decades. There we go. Nice and simple.
Yep.
Okay, Forester Society. This is going to go in, I think...
Hey, Ed. Tell us more about the Forester Society and how to postulate them.
Now, where would this go? Because the Forester Society doesn't count as a species. But I think this is where we're actually going to need like a proper culture section.
That makes sense. Organizations.
Culture and organizations. Okay, Forester Society.
May I suggest a troubling term? Society.
Is Ed currently with us? Yes, Ed is in fact currently with us, and I can grab things.
We will put you on the spot. Ed.
An organisation of academics, activists, and explorers fanatically dedicated to advocating for the Shoaly and positive human-Shoaly relations. That's perfect. I see we also have a first-time chat from Bobicus. Welcome in. We're doing some ridiculous world-building things because our community decided it was a brilliant idea to not only create an entire setting from scratch that would have mecha in it, but also write a novel over Twitch. We're currently working on some glossary stuff so that everybody knows what we're talking about.
Yes. If you will read this glossary, you will have the vibe. You have tested the waters of Shoal, so to speak. I'm feeling very, very full of myself.
I'm also going to grab Ed's note that the Forester Society is named after German naturalist George Forester.
Has a decidedly Anglo-Saxon name.
Oh, I mean, that's not surprising considering, I mean, the Saxons didn't just turn up in the UK, they came from somewhere.
I'm not going to, yes. Okay.
The first actor to play 007 is Shell Connery.
No, it wasn't. It was the third actor. Come on. Get your Shoal facts correct. Also, Benny.
I'm waffling on whether to keep the fanatical in that summary. It is true, though. I mean, it's not coming across as a bad thing here. So, yeah, we can keep that. Okay, that's the Foresters. All right, we've listed what Leviathans are. I think radio resistance as a term is one that's going to be uncommon enough that it would be worth giving it its own little quick blurb. It will go here. Radio resistance. A term used to describe an object or living thing's tolerance for radioactive waves. Commonly used on Shoal to discuss the resilience of its life forms.
Radio. What now?
Radio resistance.
Radio resistance. Surely living things tolerance to radioactive radiation.
Yes, you're right. That is the correct word that should be there.
Radioactive radiation. Resilience of its life forms, specific on the surface, mostly.
Its life forms, especially on the surface land masses. There we go.
Sorry.
Oh my goodness, the boy's being cute.
Okay, pets.
Please
Everybody,
pet that boy.
redeem Pets.
Okay, this next section here is going to go into culture, and we haven't actually defined these in the compendium yet, so this will be some stuff that maybe we look at next week, is maybe some of our cultures in specific areas, because we knew we wanted to have the Auxolotls, because you guys are ridiculous. We also had the Kartakans, which was a particular branch of ceratinoid culture and etc. We also had the Slyworm Latical group, and Lumkatai is a place, so it doesn't need to be worried about right now. Okay, we've done the Black Pants Legion, we've done the Auxiliary, we've done WBPL 76. This can come out.
Yes.
Okay, Titan terminology.
Titan terminology.
Mecca,
Concordance.
a slang term often used by humans to describe the underwater mechanical life forms that Shoal boasts.
Somerica with a U.
Am I missing stuff in chat? Oh dear.
America.
Are you insinuating that the Vikings discovered Shoal first? I don't know.
I mean,
After finding Vinland, Leif Erikson sailed the galaxy in a longboat and ended up in the Mern system. Yeah, you know, he just fell asleep on the boat, woke up, and he's on Shoal. Why not? If you've never read it, I strongly recommend reading Strata by Terry Pratchett, which was sort of the novel of the Discworld, where he wrote it before really figuring out what Discworld was going to be, and it's a little bit more sci-fantasy in a very good way. Strata is a very fun book to read, and does in fact include Vikings doing all sorts of things that they maybe did or did not do in real life. We redeemed pets, and that happened. Corbin, you and the word cute, I mean, sometimes they appear in the same sentence. The words in between are usually derogatory, but you know. We need the Tide Wardens and Temple Guards in the organisations as well. Absolutely. Yeah, at the minute I'm just working through my ridiculous mess, but you are right. Let's go to cultures and organisations. Tide Wardens. And then, of course, Temple Guardians.
Well,
Those will go in.
there's going to be a biosphere. There should be a biosphere where we talk about the silence and the. Oh God. Okay, let's move on with the list we already have, because if I'll start withering down this vine, we will get to how do they grow artificial sapphire resin in order to create their underwater whatchamacallits, hydrogen fusion reactors. Okay.
Yeah, we've currently only got 1,390 words currently to still work through. Some of them, thankfully, are duplicates, so that will make things easier. Okay.
Yes, of course. That's
so
the easy part.
Titan terminology we're going to want to have in here. Awaken/awakening. And of course that's going to lead into concordance as a more formal version of that. Resonance is a word that we're going to want to define as well. Pelagic is the same as in the real world, so we don't need to define that. We've already written down our sapient peoples. Do we need to include any of our sort of key people in our external terminology? I don't think so. I think that will just be, credits section. And of course, all of chat will be credited as a whole as well. So no, that doesn't need to be here. That's another one gone. Mern, we have already done. Okay, we've got all of our other orbiting bodies here, so let's stick these in the stellar section. Is Sean one of ours? Okay, I'm going to leave these alone for a minute, and I will figure them out later, because I'm not sure if all of those are correct. Castin, Oris, Dolra, Chasic, Tomb, and Sane I know are correct, but I'm not sure about Shan and Seld. So I will check that later and add them in. That is fine.
Is not supremely Goldilocks zone.
Yes, it's a common term used.
I know the term. I just don't like it.
Slang term for the habitable region of a star's orbit. Of a star's light, I guess. The bands around a star in which complex life is potentially able to evolve given the right circumstances. There we go.
Not too hot, not too cold. Just enough radiation, not enough, not enough other stellar bodies to smash into you periodically. Habitable zone or the green zone.
Belts. A Terran term for the radiation belts that form around particularly large planets that have the gravity to hoard radiation. What do we want the Scholey term for a Van Allen belt to be? Because the Scholey have probably figured out that, this is a thing. Do we want to give them their own word, or should we just stick with, that this is the Terran term? The Scholey term is a series of clicks, so we just use Van Allen belts for short.
The easy swim, or the easy.
Oh no, Anka's being cute at me. What is it, baby? What, you need to come up? Well, come here then. Yes, you can come and have a fuss. You can always come and have a fuss. Oh, that's it. You climb on me to come and just cough. That's nice. That's
Of course.
nice. Clam Allen belt. Samurai! I would avoid using Terran for humans because humanity is no longer limited to Earth. Okay. What would you prefer we use instead? Just human? Just human works? Okay, I will fix that then. How would they perceive the belt? I mean, they have had the ability to start forays into space, and they know about the issues that happen when they pass through the Van Allen belts of their host world. So even if they can't physically see them, they know they're there.
Form around. Could you scroll a little bit down? please?
I sure can. Give me 2 seconds. There you go.
Okay, thank you. Radiation will form around particularly large planets that have gravity. Gravity too.
I'll use the word capture instead of hoard. I think that will work
Capture.
better.
A human term for radiation belts form around particularly large planets. Gravity to capture. The rad shell.
Also known as the rad shell. The shoaly terms for this are a series of clicks and whistles. So the human term is often used
Persist.
in its place.
Mhm.
Oh, so the human term persists. Yeah. There we go. That's fine. That's fine. Let's make this match. Anka is being a very big soppy at the minute. She has decided she must have all of the cuddles with her humans.
Well, it is understandable. She does have pretty awesome humans.
She is such
So.
a sweet girl as well. She has been a cuddle bug from the day she was born.
Don't drink the paint water.
Okay. We will want to define the magnetosphere at some point as well. And it's not just very fat Magneto.
Magneto and the Blob had a bastard child.
Thank you, I've been very helpful.
A horrific.
In certain MCUs, yes, they did.
Don't encourage him.
You can be absolutely 275% sure that there is a fanfic about it.
Alright, I think for this one we will have the field around a planetary body which contains charged particles. Do we need to say anything more than that?
Is it? Isn't the magnetosphere the range of active magnetic? Do we actually have to define these things? I mean, this is a physical term from our world. It's not different for sure.
That's true, but so the things that I'm choosing to put in versus the things that I'm not is one, we're making a master list, but for the compendium, I don't expect that magnetosphere will ever get copied over into any of the novel glossaries because it won't be relevant. But for the sake of the compendium, I'm thinking about, let's say, Joe Blow Average, your young sort of 19, 20-year-old who has found our ridiculous community on the internet, maybe jumps into Shoal, maybe just is not aware of exactly what a magnetosphere is and why it matters. They're going through the compendium, they find this word turn up. What is that? They can pop here, have a quick look at it. Oh, okay, it's this thing, and then it gives some context. Will we ever use it in the novels? Maybe not. But to me, magnetosphere is a word I wouldn't expect Joe Average to potentially know.
So I would be so bold as to say, let's, instead of coming it with it on ourselves, go to Wikipedia, take the basic definition of it, and move on with it. Save us time, save us effort, because this is an actual statement. You can even go to simple Wikipedia and take the simple definition of what it is.
Very true. I bet you that definition, though, is real close to Wikipedia's.
The Wikipedia is the magnetosphere. Magnetosphere is a region of space surrounding an astronomical object, as such as a planet or another object, which is charged particles are affected by that object's magnetic field, is created by a celestial body with a
so very similar.
It is very much so.
But shorter. Okay. All right, quiet zone. A quiet zone is going to be something that needs to be in universe because it's an area that's been affected by quiet, which means we'll also need to define quiet. So here, quiet, and then we will also want quiet zone. And this will be.
See, I learned something today. I always thought a magnetosphere is the radius. It's not the actual particles, but I guess this definition is closer to the truth because you can't measure it unless a particle is being affected by it. So okay, yeah, no, I learned something today.
My
I am
God.
not I am not so full of myself that I can't admit that I learned something.
Learning on this stream? That can't possibly happen.
Blasphemous. Okay, yes. Hello, welcome.
I saw the
I'm
puppy
Lictor.
body slams, puppy on puppy. Yeah, yeah.
How do you
Yeah,
solve
our
the three?
dogs like to
How do you
wrestle.
solve the three puppy problem?
Treats and sweaters.
Fair enough.
So what you suggest is that an average 20-year-old thinks of magnetosphere as an orb made up of X-Man villain figures. I mean, I've seen some of the various education systems around the world, and it wouldn't surprise me if there's at least one 20-year-old who thinks that way. Do I think our entire species is quite that daft? No. But am I going to account for the fact that there's at least one? Possibly. Possibly.
What I'm saying is, my immortal exists, and so your eyes are the color of limpets.
We did that last week, and that was so much fun. It was wonderful listening to you die inside.
Listen, I used it at least 3 times against people.
Excellent.
This last week alone.
Excellent. The job
the
continues as
damage-
it should.
The damage has been done. The world is in active collapse. Let's drink. Okay.
All right, let's
have done-
define
I-
quiet and quiet zone, because these are things that are uniquely ours and need to be done. So for me, I think if I was going to define, and I'm happy to take edits to this, quiet, a term for the conglomeration of biological elements that can dampen and kill psionics, particularly in coral beds. The quiet are...
Isn't it the silence with a P?
That's true, the quiet are one of them. You're quite right. You are quite right. I am being very silly. So
We had a vote on that.
we did. So let me copy this. A term for the conglomeration of biological elements can dampen and kill psionics, particularly in coral beds. The silence is made up of one or all of, and then we have the quiet, the doldrums, and what was our last one?
Quiet doldrum and what silence? Yes, silence.
Let's just take hazards and health. Let's just take a look and make sure that this is correct. Psionic disorders. That's disorders. We don't want that. We want predators. Coral predators is what we're really looking for. Oh wait, advanced psionics. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Is it in coral ecology? Predators. Here we go. Collecting silence. There are 3 major predators corals: the absence, the doldrums, and the quiet.
Oh,
There we
right,
go.
the absence.
The quiet, the doldrums, and the absence. Which means we will need to define each of those as well. So we'll start with quiet. Quiet. An algal. Do it like that.
We are now roughly 1 hour out of our
We are an algal
Just-
life form. Let's see. Or is quiet the one that's more active? The quiet is somewhat different. Okay, yeah, the quiet is the non-algal one. Okay.
yeah. The quiet is the lamprey-like things that attack our friends in our book.
Borderline microscopic life form. How big are quiet? How big are quiet? Because when I think of them being as just just on this side of a macro life form. You can see them with the naked eye, but they're small.
Quiet comes in two different major species. They have the much more common, almost uh, m- tiny crab size, like no more than 2-3 millimeters across. You can see them with your naked eye, but just about.
So we've got them currently described as a species of animal similar to a saw-toothed caterpillar. But yeah, I always think of them being very
No, no,
small.
these are the large version, the one that develops in places where it can feed without being annihilated by everything that protects the coral, tends to grow larger and into almost larva-like or even lamprey-like creatures that are usually between quarter to half an inch in length and about an eighth to tenth of an inch in width.
Approximately
they're
a quarter inch.
I'm giving you actual measurements where we know the usage of measurements is the death of any literary phenomena, but as demonstrated by Doctor Who calculated the jump distance of a character in
Percy Jackson. Yes. Okay, so quiet, a species of a small animal that starts out almost microscopic. You know what, I'm not going to go into the full details because that's what the actual compendium is for. This is just a brief synopsis. I need to stop doing that. Okay, a species of small animal
it's a swarm.
that feeds on coral and deadens psionics, most often found travelling in a swarm. There we go, that's all we need. Quiet zone,
Yep.
an area of a
Afflicted.
reef bed that has been afflicted by the quiet organisms, and
you don't need to you
longer
don't even need to say that it's an area bereft of the song. It is an area where the song is inaccessible, usually due to the activity of silence.
Well, this is specifically to do with quiet, but a silent zone would be from any of those. So yeah, we could do that. Okay, let me click this back over to our mess. We're slowly working through the mess. Slowly.
I'm sorry if I'm withering into your work, but I think
No, that's the whole point in doing this. Otherwise, I'd just be working on this by myself, and then that would not be nearly as much fun.
that is true.
Let's see what Chat's
Chat
saying.
is here. Yes, Chat. Hello, Corbin.
Corbin, I will find you and I will feed you. I eat everything, but not that. Yeah, Corbin has opinions on toaster crimes. See, I know where Corbin lives, but that is one trust. That is one Desir BPL line I will not cross.
What's
Besides,
Panda?
if Corbin's going to suffer, it's going to be at my hands first.
Chat, greet Nino Panda. We have it. It is in our midst.
Excellent.
We have made a choice.
Excellent. New people are always welcome, though. This has got to be a weird stream to jump in at. Not only is this one of the more peculiar streams on the channel, but we're also in a peculiar point of world building on the channel. All right, culture and organizations. Culturally, I think that the way that the years are split up is a culture thing.
Yeah.
So it's going to go in here. So grand year will go in here, as will close year. Rings of Lure are a stellar thing. Let's put them in here.
Rings of Rexar.
Rings of Lure.
I'm glad you had a good time listening, Panda.
Reef continents, I think, is worth including. That is going to be not culture, it's going to be in universe.
Geography.
Oh, here we go. It will go here. Reef continent. Apogee we don't need to do, I don't think. Meteor lightfalls we will, and that's going to go in stellar.
Someone is being cute in your background.
It's Anka. She is asking for attention.
This is my face on surprise.
Okay, so we've pulled that out. All right. In here, we will want to put here full song, which is our midday. New song, which is midnight, effectively, although it happens twice. Waning song, waxing song. P.
I can hear Aiden in the background. Don't drink the paint water. Don't
Yep.
drink the
She
paint water.
takes far too much advice from the numeric workshop. She thinks the null oil is rubbing on her gums, and no.
No, it's not good for you.
Tummy rub nerd. Give tummy time nerd.
Oh, she being loved on.
Look at this.
That's it.
She is being incredibly cute right now.
Topography. It's not topography, it's bottomography. It's in under the water. Forbidden water bowl.
Bloom.
Bloom. The Glimwake. The Crimson Whirl.
Season, Tenebrous season. Skyfall will also go here. We'll define all of these in just a minute once I pull them off. Ghost Tide
Yeah,
also goes in here.
I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you, this is world building. This is when this is where shit gets done. This is how it looks like. It's not glamorous work. But
It's
funny.
not. It's not. A lot of writing can be very tedious, but you have to have the tedious minutes for the exciting minutes to mean anything. Often when I'm sat writing my own novels where I'm just working on my own and it's not based on, getting that group consensus and feedback and input and cool stuff that comes from other people's ideas. When I'm just writing for myself, it's not uncommon for me to be like, I'm going to write all the exciting bits first in their loosest form, and then I'll write some tedious bits that join them together, and then I'll go back to the exciting bits and flesh out the descriptions and the smell of things that are happening or the pacing, and then I'll go back and write some more of the tedious joining it all up stuff, and then I'll go back to the exciting bit and write the dialogue, and then I'll do the tedious speech tags, and it's a roller coaster of ups and downs of excitement.
It's about pacing yourself and knowing when to treat yourself. Like today,
Yes.
I treated my lady to steamed buns with pulled beef because she
Oh,
has been
that's
a very good lady.
I mean, my treat today for finishing the line art I needed to finish this morning and then streaming is I'm going to play Code Vein 2 all afternoon today. That is going to be my thing.
Oh yeah.
Hello, Parallax.
See?
Welcome in. We're doing some of the most boring stuff possible on one of my streams
This is-
today. I'm
this
very
is-
sorry.
No, it is good shit.
It is good shit.
We need to condition our. Also, some of us, I'm not going to name names, but it's skeleton people with two hats, really love this sort of stuff.
Right, let's bring this up so we make sure we get this correct, and we will define these terms that we've just written down. And I do really want to get these into the compendium. I might try and do it today. If not, I'll do it tomorrow. I want these things in the compendium so you guys can access them, so that this starts becoming useful to everybody immediately. All right, here we go. We can
The
just
moment it's
let
it's an open document, I'm going to start wailing on that thing. Wailing, like a full-bodied salation.
All right,
Yeah.
new song.
People are going to have shanties about it.
What I'm loving here is because we wrote this so well the first time round, I can literally just copy and paste.
And you remember this was that one time you said you needed something boring to do.
Yeah, it happens sometimes.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Okay, calendar. Here we go.
Doctor Who knows time. He knows. He knows Chronos.
A close year is made up of 5 surely months representing
Parallax, I have robot butt to show you.
one orbit of shoal around Luastra. And then a grand year is made up of 5 surely close years representing one orbit of Luastra around Mern. There we go.
I
Easy.
will send you robot butt.
Yes, if you two can communicate about robot butt, you will not need me as a middle person anymore, and that's probably for the best. But
You're anything but mid, Red.
I don't know about that.
I've tested. I have Aiden and Anka on my side. You will not win.
All right, let's see. We've got 45 minutes. Yeah, world building is always nice. I do enjoy it, yes. And a lot of this is sort of us, in some ways, reviewing things we did last year, which for some people who have joined us in the latter parts of Shoal so far and maybe weren't here for the very beginning days, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
That's the fun part, making you talk about Lictor's ass. It's not Lictor's ass, it's Gravenquire's, which is dad ass. Gravenquire is wide.
It is thick with 3 C's.
Yes.
None of them capitalized. Exactly, Kai. Kai has it right.
Alrighty.
Yes.
Work. Let's do some more. Okay, our seasonal bands. We can lift from these. So Presto, we were bringing up. The Presto band is a seasonal band. A season in which Shoal is behind. It's behind Luastra because we've defined Luastra here so people can just look at it. Behind Luastra and seems to move faster through space. And then the Largo band is the opposite. A season in which Shoal is ahead of Luastra and seems to move slower through space. Easy. Then we have our different light seasons, because seasons on Shoal do not work at all like they do on Earth. Gloam season. Okay, let's start with Lambent season. Put this one in first. Lambent season. The time period on Shoal when direct light from Mern can hit its surface. Tenebrous season, the time period on Shoal when light from Mern is blocked by Luastra and it is in darkness. And then Gloam season, an intermediary season when direct light from Mern does not reach Shoal, but instead is reflected onto Shoal from Luastra. So this is where it's passing into Eclipse and out of Eclipse, and the light is coming through Luastra's presence. Okay, that should work. I can spell intermediary, I swear. Alright, and then Skyfall. The time period in Shoal's orbit, where it passes through the rings of Lua, and meteor fall becomes very common. Radiation levels also rise. Okay, and then the ghost tide was something that we needed to include, because it's
cool.
Yeah, ghost tide, which is in here somewhere. Where did I put it? Ghost tide, here we go. Ghost tide, a biological event that occurs when life forms bloom in response to radiation exposure across Shoal. Can often be observed from space. There we go. That's ghost tide. We haven't included the others. We might want to include, I mean, high tide's obvious, low tide's obvious, but we might want to include soft tide and harsh tide as well in the glossary. Because those are...
Put there, don't worry about it right now.
Don't worry about it right now. Okay. All right, that
Don't
covers
worry.
most of those new things we just threw in here. Let us define Temple Guardians and Tide Wardens. Tide Wardens, we know what these are.
Tide is a shoal-wide organization dedicated to the safeguarding and maintaining the freedom of trade.
Of Shoaly and Titans that patrol its international waters and spaces, dedicated to preserving trade lanes and Shoaly safety. There we go. And then the Temple Guardians are a
the omnipresent keepers of Temps coral repositories known as temples.
The organisation, and I'm going to put an S in here because quite often Temple Guardians are from specific banks, but the organisations assigned to guard, monitor, care for, and read the vital Temps corals of Shoal, often affiliated with specific library banks.
I think this is slightly too broad.
You think so?
I think Temple Guardians is a common parlance of a military group operating under the command of a temple, a Temps coral repository known as Temple.
Okay, I'm not going to use military because not all Temple Guardians are military. For example, Echo
Really?
isn't. You know, Echo's not. She's a research titan, but she's still a Temple Guardian. It's still her job to look after the Temps coral node of her thing, but she's not specifically
executive?
militant. Yeah.
So executive instead of
okay.
military?
An executive organization. Yes. Affiliated to specific library banks. That service, protect, and read specific Temps coral archives. And
That makes the Temple Guardians essentially the entire temple.
I mean, in large form, yeah. The Temple Guardians are assigned to specific library banks. So Echo is
Oh,
off.
yes.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, I'm trying to understand if there are other branches of the temple that are not guardians. Are they called guardians because they are the ones dedicated to this bank or the other bank?
Yes.
Or are they the guardians because they are the ones who guard?
So Temple Guardians can come in several forms. What you're going to have is, for example, Echo. Echo is a Temple Guardian, but she's not a fighting Temple Guardian. Her job is to look after the health and add to the Temps Coral Archive of the specific library bank she comes from. So she would be, let's say she's from
Archivist.
Song Gorge. So she would be a Temple Guardian, it's a Song Gorge Temple Guardian, brackets, archivist. But you might have Song Gorge Temple Guardian patrol, who physically protect the building. But you'd then also have, say, Echo's Reach Temple Guardian. They're still Temple Guardians, but they're for a different organisation. They don't work for the Song Gorge Library Bank. They work for the Echo's Reach Library Bank. But colloquially, if they look after a Temps Coral Archive from a library, they are just colloquially Temple Guardians. Which specific temple comes from that? Does that make sense?
Okay, so that makes them. It just means that we call in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
In my brain, the Temple Guardians, the Temple Guard are they're the guys in suits, the guys in uniform, the people that go out and do stuff in the name of the temple. They're the public-facing group of the temple. Well, there are a bunch of more insular dudes and dudettes, the librarians, for instance, that are the internal. They are what we would commonly call clerics, from the word clerk.
Yep.
Clerics and archivists and researchers, and so the temple guardian. So Echo being a temple guardian, at least the way I imagined her in my brain, is he's the adventure type of a librarian who's also a guardian, as opposed to a normal librarian who's not the adventurous type. If you remember the Cephalonid librarian hero we designed back
when we were talking about how to do character design, yes.
Exactly. So that one was also the hero kind of librarian. But there's also a whole bunch of librarians that don't do adventure shit. They just sit in their temple and they read the temps. They bond with it.
What do you do for a living? I read books.
I talk with a quasi-omniscient memory of the planet. Thank you. I'm Aerith from Final Fantasy VII. Sometimes I get stabbed.
Thankfully, she's not in our first book.
Exactly. So just again, this is my brain, and this is how I thought about things. If I missed something completely, this is on me. I thought the Temple Guardians are at the very least, the outside-facing apparati instead of the entire thing. Both can be true, and some people never see the temple from the inside, so they don't know that there's an entire Comstar mythical bullshit inside.
I think the Temple Guardians are it's always Titan related as well. So your people who are, who just read Temps Coral but don't have a Titan would not be in the Temple Guardian aspect. They'd have a different thing to them. So maybe we need to put that in. An executive Titan
related.
Yeah.
Titan
in the same
related.
way that the Tide Wardens are Shoalian Titans together. So there we go. That should fix the problem. Fix the confusion.
Yay!
Hooray! See, glossaries are useful.
I am no longer confused. Yay!
Meteor Lightfall.
I was confused. I am no longer. Great success.
I'm just going to take Meteor Lightfall out. Actually, no. Meteor Lightfall. C. Skyfall. It's just a more scientific way of saying Skyfall. Okay, Rings of Lure. The name for the band of dust. Bands. That needs an S on the end.
Bands.
Of dust
These are
and
bands of
debris
dust.
drawn into.
Are they like K-pop bands? Do they have themes?
Drawn into
Can they
Loaster's
fight
orbit.
demons?
The bands are often separated. No, we don't even need to go into that. The name for the bands of dust and debris drawn into Loaster's orbit. That's it. That's all we need for a glossary. That's it. That's what they are. It's the rings around the host planet. Done. Right, what else have we got? I don't want to do Titan terminology right now. That would be rather a lot. And I think that's going to get a little bit complex. That might need to be a next week thing. Right, let's see what else we've got in our mess that we can pull out. I mean, we've reduced it by a couple of hundred words today. That's good. I'm not going to worry about these place names.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, and we just don't need those. They don't belong here.
Migratory fleet route might be a cool thing to talk about.
Okay, it'll be in culture and organisations, I think.
Not all of them. I mean, depth tags are very much a topography thing. Orthography.
Fleet route. A term describing the anticipated routes and motions of Shoal's mobile floating cities. See relevant cities for specific detail.
Goliath cities.
Yeah, one of them is a Goliath city. Gleamwake.
Wake. Wake. Also wake.
Okay.
Goliath fight city. The city where Goliaths go to fight with knives.
We've done Grand Corals. How are we
Benny
doing?
is taping knives to Goliath hands so they can fight. And then you have
I wouldn't put it past Benny. I absolutely would not put it past Benny to invent Knife Fight City. Tell you what, why don't we have in Shenanigans, we should have a little thing about Benny. And
yes, Benny. Benny has caused Goliaths to develop a knife fighting style. They call it Knife Fight City.
Do we need to come up with like a unique shoaly term for it, like Knife Fin City or something?
Fin Fight City.
Fin Fight City. What do you think, chap? How are we going to fit Knife Fight City into Shoal? Benny needs to be in there. Yeah, we will add Benny, our very own cryptid, and a wonderful memory to the dearly departed real Benny. I cannot tell you how happy I am, chat, that you've taken to Benny the way you have. Knife in City. Yes. Knife in City, as in knife in, but knife fin. Yeah, okay, I like that.
Benny is recognized as the immortal mayor. The always stand-ins, but he's the mayor. spoken to and about in the third body. How do you say it in English?
Third person perspective.
Yes. The Benny, the mayor of Knifin City.
Yeah, I'm also on board with Knife in City. How do we want to put this in the glossary? Somebody's like, what the hell is Knife in City? They scan to the glossary. What does the glossary tell them? You tell me, chat.
Yes, chat. Okay, Orc Slayers. Go on.
Right, I'm going to let chat think about that while I write up Benny. Shoal's first and greatest cryptid. Benny is a force unto himself. Ostensibly a retired titan that bonded with a wandering hermit crab, Benny has become a phenomena all to himself that turns up on Shoal all over the place to cause mischief, chaos, and joy. That is Benny. And then
You're
we
saying
should also
Benny
put him back in.
is an even more cryptid version of Santa?
Yes, although he doesn't necessarily deliver presents and may in fact abscond with your presents, if that is the funniest thing that could possibly happen in any given moment. And then, of course, in the credits, we will also put in some things in our credits for references we have in the setting to important people and figures, especially those that have passed on. And I do think there's going to be some more figures we might want to add in long term to commemorate important people to our community that are perhaps no longer with us, or certain things are going on. So that will be fun too.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the Maori placard. No dying.
Treatable says, where all hopes and dreams go to die. Are we talking about Knife in City or just the BPL in general?
That's not true. My hopes and dreams didn't come here to die.
No, that's true. Mine
My
were
hopes and
cultivated
dreams
here and it's been wonderful.
My hopes and dreams went there and became explosive. They have been infected by Zorg. Boom.
Didn't Benny happen because the
Hello.
interface between the crab and mech kind of broke and their mind shroud merged? That's one interpretation. And Benny has certainly claimed that on more than one occasion. Is this
also
the
claims
truth?
that-
Nobody knows.
I mean, it's a cryptid. They claimed that. They claimed a vast clam chowder mishap. They claimed they got barnacled at one pub in whatchamacallit, in the Forge City, and they woke up with a new clam head. You know, shit happens. Don't worry about it.
So chat was asking about the squeaking, and unfortunately we didn't get the full thing, but the squeaking was Anka playing with her squeaky jackalope, which still has a squeaker inside it, and she was trying to build up to her morning routine, which is the most adorable thing in the world. When I get up with them in the morning, she comes out, she grabs one of her squeaky toys, and she attempts to immediately murder it. And if it does not instantly die, she will start howling with the toy in her mouth while still squeaking it. So you get the sound of muffled beagle howling and sad noises combined with frantic squeaking, and it's hilarious and adorable, and I love this baby so much. She is such a ridiculous creature. And she is now playing with her grandpups because he's throwing one of the toys for her. And she's being very adorable. She has her little grippy paws on the go, wrapped around Aiden's wrist while she tries to kill the owl that he's holding. She's very, very cute. And yeah, she tries to murder things. She's got down the sort of alligator head thrash very, very well with some of her toys when she gets truly frustrated with them. It's very cute. She finds all the face holes. She does. I mean, all three of the beagles are like, you have orifices. I will clean them.
She just tried to jump after it, did a full turn, and then flopped onto the bean.
Oh, did you fall over, baby girl? Or are they just too cute?
She flubbed her check to roll acrobatics. Oh my goodness, you vicious little monster.
Yes, Aiden is having a cackle in the background. Okay, Knife in City. A narrative setting of Shoal, where communities ravaged by silence fight for a better future on the hard... Oh, no, that doesn't matter. On the busy...
Murky,
Murky, that's a good idea. On the murky, damp
slush.
streets.
On the
Murky,
murky slush.
silted streets of Knifin
Turbulent is another good word.
Knife in City.
Oh my god.
Murky Seed of Knife in City.
Still shoots a knife in City. The only things here as turbulent as the current are the politics of its governance and crime syndicates. There we go. Knife in City. We can edit
Yes.
it later.
Yes.
It's the city where spear guns were outlawed.
I'm going to talk to Crow.
Oh God! Please do.
I'm going to talk to Crow. This is going to be we're going to have a chat and we're going to discuss this because Knife in City has a mayor.
So
And the
I'm
mayor-
working on a commission at the minute. It's a personal commission for somebody that I suspect you guys will see in time. It hasn't had its line art finally approved as yet, though hopefully that will happen today. And it has involved drawing Crow and others, and I've had a lot of fun with it, and I do hope you guys will get to see it. Crow is a lot of
How dare
fun.
you have fun?
I
How dare you
know,
have
I know.
fun
It's
with
almost
you?
like I have the
Come on.
best job in the universe because I work for the best community.
How? I would have envied you if I haven't been working for the same people.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine.
Looking forward to seeing what
Nice.
the fullness of this year's projects will entail.
Madness. The answer is madness.
Yes, but it will be the fun kind of madness that hopefully will continue to entertain all of the wonderful people who choose to turn up to my nonsense every week, and I appreciate you guys very much. I'm also aware that we've only got about 15 minutes-ish left until it should be BB's time to come and join us, so I'm thinking it might be around about this point a good time to sort of start winding down, as I am incapable of ending a stream promptly. So we will maybe do that.
That's fine. Yeah.
We did have some great submissions over the last week for some horror movies.
Yeah.
I would love to see some more, and maybe we'll read those out next week. I was particularly pleased to see Lillian's input. I don't know how many people here are into just bad horror movies, bad B movies, and things that have cult followings for all the wrong reasons in the best way. And Lily wrote us a synopsis for a Sholey version of The Giant Claw, which as a
Could you read it?
terrible B movie.
The giant crawl.
Can you read it and explain it?
I
Because
can
me-
read it and explain it. I can absolutely do that.
You know that I understand movies just about as much as I understand. No, I don't understand. That's it. I do not understand. I
Okay,
am not a
so
movie person.
let me first explain to you what the Giant Claw was. So back when sort of, B movies were really having their heyday and becoming a thing, and you had all of these sort of science fiction movies coming out, some of which were just complete trash and schlock, and some of which were really good. So you had movies like Them coming out in black and white with the giant ants that was actually a really good movie with excellent acting in it, and for all you had, these ridiculous giant ants because, radiation. The movie was so well structured that even today I will happily sit down and watch Them. It's great. On the other hand, Love, give me one of the ones that was terrible from that era.
Oh boy.
Pick one, anyone.
If we want to stick with them, beginning of the end with the giant locust was.
Yeah, so, okay. Beginning of the
Black
end,
Scorpion.
Black Scorpions. All of these movies that were coming out with giant monsters because radiation, but they were
Which
just
one was it?
cheap
Gorgo
knockoffs.
was the Godzilla knockoff.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Gorgo sounds like it, and that was the one with the golems or whatever, wasn't it? So you had all these bad movies coming out, and the problem was for a lot of actors is they kind of didn't know which they were going to be part of, because for a lot of these movies you didn't necessarily see the monster that you were acting against because of the way filming was done. You might have in good movies of the era the actors and the monster on screen at the same time for short periods, but it wasn't uncommon to of course film the monster, whether it's a rubber suit or a model or a miniature or a puppet, against a scaled background, and so of course you're filming your actors separate to your monster and your scenery. So for some actors of the day, they would be given scripts where they're told, okay, these are your lines, this is what's going on, and this is what the monster will be, but, you're not actually going to see the monster, but, just imagine it's this, and go ahead and do your acting, and then we'll cut it all together in editing. And with the giant claw, the concept was that they were going to have this giant avian threat, the giant claw. And throughout the movie, which was not particularly well written, it was constantly described as a flying battleship, which in itself is a ridiculous sentence, but this was said multiple times through the course of this movie. And you've got all of these actors very seriously acting like there's this big threat that's attacking the city, and it's been seen in the skies, and it's pulled down planes, and it's the giant claw, it's a flying battleship. None of them have seen the monster. The monster was made on the cheap by a knockoff company, and it looked hilarious. It was not scary. It was not threatening. It was absolutely ridiculous. It just looked hilarious, and it had like this stringy mohawk hair. It was awful. So when this movie came out, I mean, all of the actors distanced themselves from it immediately because it was just a comic flop. Because the monster was so bad, and it's kind of become a cult thing at this point, and I think there's quite a few people who are like, oh man, I wish I knew what happened to the puppet of the giant claw. I want to own that thing. So Lily decided to give Shoal its own version, and she called it The Fiend from 40,000 Feet, where instead of having a giant comical albatross thing, she's decided we need a giant interdimensional space seagull that will menace the city by dive bombing it, snatching up entire buildings in its claws and shredding the reef with its beak. It is surrounded by an impenetrable force field that induces hyperfroth, which causes Shoaly to melt into puddles of glowing goo. As to quote the scientists in the film, the psionic link between their very cells is severed at the genetic level. Which is a ridiculous sentence in the same way that it's a flying battleship is a ridiculous sentence. The monster is defeated using a giant mirror made of coral vibrating at a specific frequency that causes it to explode due to destructive wave interference. Which is also not how psionics works.
So essentially they reverse the polarity.
Yes. So she took the giant claw and she turned it into a Shoaly movie of equally ridiculous and unbelievable comedic proportion. And that made me so happy.
Yes. And we reverse the polarity, which is the only reference I will ever get about about Star Trek.
It is very important for giant monsters to explode, Night Owl, you're right. Take it easy, Trees. Please do feed those children. They apparently must eat more than once a week, which I also agree is ridiculous because then they keep growing. But, have a nice time, and it was lovely having you here. It's been a strange stream this week, but I still think a productive one and useful, and I do hope people have found some enjoyment of it. Night Owl is pointing out that the reverse polarity was originally a Doctor Who line, yes, but it's kind of seeped throughout sci-fi at this point, to the point where it's also a thing in musical comedic send-ups of sci-fi, which is also very
I have
fun.
only ever seen 4 episodes of Doctor Who.
I see. It's very good, depending on which one you're watching and when and what mood you're in. But there's a Doctor Who for every occasion.
I am very illiterate. Okay, Grimace.
We are not going to get into the Doctor Who debate. We literally have less than 10 minutes until BB turns up. And I suspect BB knows where Tex is hiding the explosive ordnance, and I like my head attached where it is. So we're going to be good children and make sure we get off channel in time and let BB have her space to do her thing.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, we can also overload the deflector disc and use the tachyon particles. And for now, we are going to race like Agnes Tachyon and get ourselves out of here so BB can have her time slot. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining me again this week. We will do more Shoal next week. We'll figure out where we're going from there. We'll maybe read out some more movie stuff next week. So if you have any more horror movie ideas that you think Shoal should have, please do drop them over in the auxiliary Discord chat. And yeah, we will see you guys next time. Any closing words, Lictor?
Goodbye, have a good time, and stay away from the froth.
Yes, be good to each other. I will see you at WBPLW on Sunday. Have a good one, ladies and gentlemen.